Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Tom Rofrano from the Natural Medicine Clinic in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, and this is my lovely wife, Dawn.
Hi everybody.
Special guest with us today. And today we're going to talk about how to shrink thyroid nodules even
if you're a sugar addict.
That's right. So we had an experience with this earlier this year when Dawn she wanted to share a little story with you, and then I can add in how we were able to turn that around.
So some of you may know that I don't know, was it 6 months ago?
In June, yeah.
In June, like my close friends, I've told this story to a lot of our patients also. I woke up one morning and I was stretching and I was kind of like massaging my neck, and I felt this huge nodule on my throat, and it really freaked me out. I'd been under tremendous stress. I lost my first doggy, my first baby, and I'd been going through some other family issues, and just under a lot of stress, not going to bed on time and just staying up late and just burning the candle at both ends. And I knew it was a recipe for disaster. So when that nodule popped up, I was definitely concerned and had Tom take a look at it and feel it. And he's like, oh yeah, you definitely need to get that taken, looked at. So
is an iodine ultrasound, and that came back with a finding of a nodule that was, let's see, the size was over 2 centimeters.
Oh, you have a picture of it too, where you could actually see it. It was so big. It was almost as if it came up overnight. I can't believe that I hadn't noticed it if it had been there for a little while, because I'm very conscientious. But yeah, there.
Yeah, I'm not. I have a picture of it right here, but the icon where I was able to share the screen disappeared somehow.
Well, you can share it in comments after.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. So it was 2.1 centimeters by 1.3 centimeters, so 21 by 13 millimeters in the right side, and that's the one that was showing. And there was another one on the left that was 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter.
And then there was a few other little ones down below too. So.
Yeah, there was in each lobe there were 2 or 3, but that big one that Don was seeing was the one that was over 2 centimeters, and typically over 1 centimeter they like to do a needle biopsy. So I sent on for referral to a local medical doctor, and then what happened?
Well, I asked her if she would allow me to have some time before we did a needle biopsy, because the thought of sticking a needle in my neck was definitely something I didn't want to do, and
multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. I could even fathom that.
Because there were a number of nodules, so the needle would have gone in multiple times in one area and then in other areas as well.
And I know what we do here in our practice, in our clinic, and I see patients shrinking cysts and tumors and all kinds of things all the time. So I knew exactly what I needed to do. So I asked the doctor, could I just do another ultrasound in a couple of weeks after I implemented a couple of things that my trusty husband and doctor was going to help me with. So
what'd she say?
She said, this is crazy. I've seen so many women these days with nodules. And she actually made a very important, she mentioned that it could be from phones and electronics, and she just thinks something is going on, that so many women and actually men too are getting these growths. Now, not only did she palpate that nodule here, but
and you could see it.
Yeah, and you could see it, but I also had a pretty large cyst in my breast that she felt too. So I knew my body was screaming at me. And so when you want to.
Yeah, so then so she said, okay, so Dawn came in, we set an appointment and did some lab work, went over those findings, and then the diet. And one of the biggest things with Dawn, she was majorly addicted to sugar, so this wasn't going to be easy. However, just seeing what was happening to her body, and
I had a reason now. I think I even did a Facebook Live a couple years ago confessing that I was a sugar addict, and that it wasn't an easy thing. But the fact that I had a reason now, and I knew that I needed to completely cut out the sugar, even though, mind you, it wasn't like corn syrup and refined sugar products. It was coconut sugar and, you know, other foods that had sugar in it. So anyway, I knew what I needed to do. I don't think you believed I could do it. But he really was suggesting that I do the needle biopsy, and I just had so much reason not to, because I knew that diet and some other things that you suggested would truly help. So
yeah, so we so when we got the lab work back, so there were some, I mean, the thyroid actually was okay on lab evaluation. It was more thyroid, more adrenal stress, adrenal fatigue, adrenal stress, dysfunction issues. So we did some supplements, some natural medicine, or natural medicine formula line of supplements for that, and also measured iodine levels.
yes.
And Dawn's iodine levels, it's actually a 24-hour urine iodine test, and that showed low levels of iodine, which can ultimately cause thyroid nodules
And cystic
breast,
yes.
right? So and then the diet. So the diet that Dawn, that I went over with Dawn, is, I call it the free diet. It's a proprietary diet that I came up with because it's free of the most. It's free of those foods that are most commonly responsible for inflammation, fatigue, digestive, and other chronic health issues. So the free diet Dawn committed to doing, and so it's basically free of gluten, grains, sugar, yeast, dairy, soy, legumes, GMOs. I mean, all those foods that are responsible for inflammation and, like I said, chronic health and digestive issues.
It's a little different than paleo or the Whole30 that's pretty popular out there. It has a couple different tweaks in there that really make a difference.
It's a combination of a number of different diets, including an elimination diet, and on. But anyway, as a matter of fact, I'll put a link in here for any of you listening if you like a copy, complimentary of the free diet phase 1. It goes through multiple phase, 3 phases, but phase 1 is where you get the most results, typically 4 weeks, and that's what Dawn committed to.
So I was having a lot of different symptoms that your patients come in with. Some of your patients have like a list of 50, and I probably had maybe more. I was just really burnt out. I mean, I was foggy brain. I couldn't think straight. My memory, my emotions were all over the place. I don't know, what other symptoms did I have?
Unable to really get going in the morning.
Yes. I wasn't motivated. I just wasn't my peppy self, and I was really, really struggling.
Some mood issues, irritability.
Yeah, he can say that.
Short fuse. Well, all those symptoms of adrenal stress and fatigue, like brain fog and insomnia, nervousness, things like that.
I would drop, I would just panic if something dropped behind me really loud, and I would jump out of my skin. It was like that firing adrenaline that was constant go.
So, and how many, so anyway, within 2 weeks.
Oh, right, 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks,
I could not feel it anymore.
And you couldn't see it in the mirror.
That was just diet, because I didn't actually get the iodine in my system until the test came back.
Right, the diet and the initial supplements. And then when we got the iodine results back, went on a certain dosage of iodine. And iodine is controversial because when you go online, you'll see, half of the sources saying iodine is terrible. If you have any thyroid issues, you should never take it, and actually you should avoid it at all costs if you have thyroid nodules or autoimmune. I mean, it's just rampant, and endocrinologists are typically on the same page with that. All endocrinologists will tell you to avoid it like the plague if you have thyroid issues. However, it is a considerable source of and cause of nodules and goiter. And should you take it? Well, you should if you test low and if you're deficient for it. If you're not deficient, if you're not low and you take iodine, then that's really bad. So yeah, before you go taking high doses of iodine, you should definitely test and make sure that you really need it.
I know over the years you've had so many women that have were low in it, and they had cystic breast and were having to go and get ultrasounds and biopsies, and many of them didn't even have to, because when they went back, the ultrasound showed that it was gone. And when I went back to the radiologist, boy, they really gave me a hard time why I didn't want to do the mammogram, why I didn't want to do, that's a whole other topic, why I didn't want to do the needle biopsy. And I said, well, can you just do the ultrasound and see what you see? And they were completely surprised. The doctor was like, and what exactly did you do? And so I told him. He goes, oh, I've heard of iodine and how that can help, but I don't know much about it. But the fact that he acknowledged that was, that was great.
Yeah. So when we did the second ultrasound about seven and a half weeks later, that actually showed the nodule shrunk from over 2 centimeters to 1 centimeter. So it shrunk by over 50%. And then on the other side, it shrunk. It was
they were all
also by
normal
50%. All of those were under 1 centimeter in the left side. So yeah, so they shrunk by over 50%, and then that suspicious danger zone of over 1 centimeter where they like to do biopsies, that was not an issue anymore, because like I said, it shrunk by over 50%. And then and they said, all right, well, what did she tell you?
They said that I didn't really need to come back, in a couple of years if I wanted to check it again. But because I know that that is not normal, I'm still pressing forward, and I know that if the body created it, the body can heal it. So I'm committed to completely eliminating that, inflammation, because I know it's not supposed to be there. So anyway, I'll probably get retested again, and then you need to check my iodine soon as well.
Right. Yeah. So that's the thing with really any of these chronic health conditions that they say you need medication for. In this case, the typical treatment for thyroid nodules, well, if they're a certain size, they will want to do surgery. What about your mom? Tell them about your mom too, which was another real concern.
Yeah, so my mom, many years ago, she actually was diagnosed with thyroid cancer.
It was
borderline. They
suspicious.
Were suspicious, and so they just classify it as that. And so to be safe, back then, this was probably
25 years.
25. We weren't married yet. They took out half of her thyroid, which now we know is unnecessary. But that was a concern. I definitely, even though I was in this field, I thought to myself, wow, that's pretty big all of a sudden, and your mind plays tricks on you. But when you know the other side of the coin and the information, and you have that knowledge, you really can understand that even if it was cancer, the body can heal it when it's given the right environment. We've seen that happen with other people. So
right, and the body does have an incredible ability to heal itself. So once you find out what's going on, what the underlying root cause of the condition is, and then adjust that through diet, supplements, lifestyle changes, most anything you can heal and get better.
Yeah,
with.
Definitely. Well, and also they did the ultrasound on my breast as well, and the tech would not speak a word. She was just typing away. I'm thinking, oh Lord, please tell me that there's nothing there anymore. And I knew in my heart, I did everything I was supposed to do. I knew it was gone, but she wouldn't mum a word. She didn't say anything to me. She just held it there and was typing away. And then the doctor came in and said, oh, so-and-so, you didn't see anything there, did you? So that cyst was completely gone too. So it's amazing how our bodies can heal.
That's right. So thanks for joining us today. And again, if you want a copy of phase 1 of the free diet, just click below, and if you have any questions, comments, feel free to do that below also, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Hold on 1 second before you go. I just want to give a really heartfelt thank you to my husband, because that was a really stressful time in my life, and so I'm super grateful that you're in my life and that I was able to heal that with the knowledge that you shared with me, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Take care.